In the criminal justice system, the people,
Pimps, addicts, thieves, bums, winos, girls who can't keep an address, and men who don't care.
are represented by two separate yet equally important groups.
A cop, a flatfoot, a bull, a dick, John Law. You're the fuzz, the heat, you're poison, you're trouble, you're bad news.
These are their stories.
So let me just segue to magic mushrooms, if I can. All right. Well, I guess there's some support for magic mushrooms. The question is, and this question is being played out in the Ninth Circuit Court, do dying people have a right to magic mushrooms, to psychedelics, to ease their pain, their plight in their days, weeks, months, oftentimes, that they are at the end?
Is that what magic mushrooms do?
It's is it psilocybin? Is that how they say it?
Mm-hmm.
Psilocybin. And MDMA, yeah, they may alleviate end-of-life suffering, anxiety, depression. These are all things that, sure, can affect you at the end of your life. And that is what these magic mushrooms, to be, that's the street jargon. I'm kind of hip that way, and so I threw that in, magic mushrooms. But that's what that stuff is. So that's now this question before one of the nation's highest courts. A Seattle-based palliative care physician is appealing a U.S. Drug Enforcement Administration decision that bars him from prescribing psilocybin. Is it Silo or Silo? I forget what you told me.
Silo. I think
Silo,
it's
sorry.
psilocybin, yeah.
Psilocybin to his late-stage cancer patients. So again, the DEA, the same DEA that we were talking about in relation to marijuana, they are barring this palliative care physician
They're dying. The people are dying. Who cares? Let them have what they want.
These right to try laws is what they're calling them. And they would give terminal patients across so many different situations access to experimental drug therapies before they're approved by the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. 40 states, including Washington and California, have laws like that in place. And Congress passed a federal version in 2018. So these are right to try laws. That's what they're called. I have patients who want to try it, this kind of assisted therapy for existential distress, says the doctor. And there are lots of studies that support this. The DEA has denied the doctor's request, arguing that therapeutic use of this psilocybin remains banned even for terminal patients. This is under the Controlled Substances Act of 1970. It lists the drug as Schedule 1, a narcotic with no recognized medical use. The agency said that the doctor could only work with this drug if he gets a license to do so as a researcher, not as a regular part of his palliative care. So this is a case that is now pending before the Ninth Circuit. It's one of two cases, by the way, that this doctor now has, and good for him for trying not only to do good for his patients, but for doing the really difficult thing, which is to argue against the U.S. government, the DEA, in court. The second case is asking the DEA to simply reschedule psilocybin, making it available for therapy, just not just research, which is what they're requiring now. We'll keep you posted, but
yeah, we have Grady here. He said he uses a mushroom microdose for cluster headaches, and he said it saved his life.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I think we've done, and we had a guest on about this, remember?
Yeah, I do.
So, and even Deirdre says, my son microdoses for his depression. It really helps him.
What's interesting?
Well, what was interesting, I don't know, I lost Kim there, but what I'm going to tell you is that Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill last year. Yeah. Gavin Newsom vetoed a bill that would have decriminalized both psilocybin and other natural psychedelics. And even a more recent effort to put decriminalization on the state ballots failed. So even as we push forward, and it seems so clearly helpful, this liberal governor, Gavin Newsom, vetoed the bill that would have decriminalized it. Go ahead, Kim, you cut off. That's why.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, no, I was reading a study about psilocybin outperforming other treatments in easing depression in a new study. And psychiatrists have been calling for studies of this, saying, maybe there's anecdotal evidence, but we need more evidence before we start really getting behind it. So this study was done at the University of Oxford, and they looked at 436 people with depression in clinical trials, and they said psilocybin provided a significantly greater change in depression scores than any of the control treatments. So just some more evidence that there is something to it, that it does make a difference for people.
And something now, it has to be sourced illegally for these patients. You're told you have a finite amount of time, gather your loved ones around you. You're told these end-of-life things that can't help but depress you, create insane, indescribable anxiety, and you're not allowed to try this stuff. It's outrageous, man. Right. It's absolutely outrageous. This is from a crew that, is always telling us, we want you to have freedoms. The same thing is true now in Florida. We want you to have freedoms. We didn't like the COVID restrictions, but we now have a 6-week abortion ban. I mean, it's like, how do you square these two things? I mean, either we've got freedoms or we don't. And so it's really a failure in modern society that we are still kind of wrestling with this stuff. So
you cannot say you love your country.
Well, I don't love that part of my country, I'll tell you that. A former NSA employee sentenced to almost 22 years. Ooh. Yeah. They're not messing around with that. Trying to sell secrets to Russia. Jare Sebastian Dalke, a 32-year-old Army veteran from Colorado, briefly worked at the NSA, was reapplying to the agency when he tried to sell classified information to a person that he thought worked for the Russian government. Actually worked for the FBI.
Gotcha.
Oops. This defendant, who had sworn an oath to defend our country, believed he was selling classified national security information to a Russian agent.
My bad. I'm sorry.
No, that's not going to cut it. Sorry, Whoop.
Listen, maybe you don't realize this, former NSA employee. If you want to take thousands of documents that are top secret from a government installation, you need to be president. That's how you do it. Then you can wave them around at your private club.
That's how it works.
There's never been anything like this.
Yes. Don't try it on your own.
With full and complete immunity. Yeah.
Precisely. Well, in one of the more bizarre crimes in Southern California, the public is being asked to help in locating a toiletry thief who targeted a specific aisle in a local drugstore. It was 8:40 p.m. at a CVS in a place called Agoura Hills, suburb of Los Angeles. Surveillance cameras capturing the man walking into a store, that's CVS, where he filled a reusable Target store bag with various deodorant products and walked out without paying for the merchandise.
What?
There he is. You can see him. That huge Target bag. All of that deodorant, he filled that bag. How much deodorant do you think he got away with? I ask you in the chat in real time. And if you're watching in replay, you can guess. Put your guess in the chat. Put your guess in the comments. What was the total amount of deodorant stolen? $42? No, I need the dollar amount. What did it all add up to when he's stolen that deodorant in the Target bag? Of course, this lawless deodorant thief is being sought by authorities. Less than $900, says Motorrec. $25, says Wes. $30, says John Slade. $600, says Wes. $743, says Eric. Nope. The actual, of course, Trevor Starr in Hollywood says $11,780. Right. $200, says Valerie. Ron says $431. I like that you made it $431 and not $430 somehow.
That's a great price is right tip.
Yeah, it's a Price is Right move. That's exactly right. $550, says Karen says $1,780. The actual retail price of all the deodorants snatched by the great deodorant thief of Southern California. $1,196.98.
You just
wow. I mean, that is a brutal amount.
I have a question. So presumably he steals it to resell it, right?
Mm-hmm. Probably.
Who's gonna buy deodorant from? What do you like? Buy it on Facebook Marketplace? Like, who buys?
That's
their
exactly
deodorant?
where you buy it, Kim. That's where I get all my Jack deodorant.
Who buys their deodorant online like that?
Well, somebody who wants to smell good but doesn't want to have to pay top price. That's who, Kim. How dare you ask a question like that? There are plenty of people who can't afford a lot of the luxuries that you can. Like you pay full retail for your deodorant. There are a lot of Americans who can't afford that, Kim.
Good day, sir.
Yes.
No.
Yeah, I like to use the native brand of deodorants, and those are like $10 to $12 a pop. So if I could get a cheaper, Kim,
You'd buy it
I'm
from a
gonna reach
street
out to this
corner,
guy.
or you'd buy it from some random online?
I mean, you can still pop it open and see if it's in good shape, Kim. It's not like they're
It's not
using
some
it.
random, Kim. I mean, you've probably done business with this deodorant outlet
No.
before.
No.
And finally, I'd like to leave you with this. I have others, but I know we are running a little late. I'm just so excited to see everybody again after my layoff. I like to pack you with a lot of content. A wealthy California beachfront enclave is a ding word, goes to war with tourists. Millionaire homeowners are trying to ban hikers from this stunning hillside that overlooks the city.
What?
That's right. These California homeowners are trying to ban hikers from using the hillside near their property. They saved this same hillside from property developers by going to court and claiming it's for public use.
Oh.
But now, 2 years later, the public wants to use it, and they say, not so fast.
Oh, no.
We didn't mean you public people. We meant the public people in our family. The trails are currently used by hikers on the stunning hillsides overlooking Ventura and the Pacific Ocean. A group of people called Neighbors for the Ventura Hillside say that allowing the public access under these plans that would open it up would be surprisingly and unnecessarily intrusive to residents. Again, they were going to build 55 homes on this site. And in 2015, the group went to court and killed those plans. But now tensions have flared up, Kim. That's right. Landowners and nonprofits and conservationists and hikers and people want access. And they don't want to be pushed around by a bunch of rich people.
Why are you yelling?
So this is an open question as to what will happen.
You can't
But they're
have
in
it both
court
ways.
now.
You can't say, it's don't build homes because it's public and then turn around and claim the opposite. You can't have it. No, you can't.
You can't do it. In the court of Kim,
Yeah.
it would not be permitted. But Kim, we'll have to see what happens with those who want to see a change, want access to this beautiful place, and those who want to keep it to themselves. That's Law and Disorder for today.
Tune in again next time for more Law and Disorder on The Mark Thompson Show.
All right, that's it. Let's roll. Hey, let's be careful out there.
Hi, it's Mark, and I thought that was great. Hit the notification bell. You'll know whenever there's a new video being dropped, and please subscribe to our channel to help us save the universe.